All right, let's dive into an absolute classic today, Charles Dickens's masterpiece, Great Expectations. It's this incredible story about ambition, what's real versus what's not, and the kind of messy, often painful process of actually growing up.
I mean, really think about that for a second. This is the question that beats at the very heart of this novel. We get to follow a young man who wants nothing more than a better life, but he finds out that chasing a dream, well, sometimes the price is losing yourself. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to follow our guy, Pip, through 4 really key stages of his life. This journey that takes him from a simple country boy to a man who has to face some pretty tough truths. So let's start at the very beginning. Meet Pip. He's an orphan living out in the English countryside. Life's pretty simple, pretty modest. He's raised by his, let's say, strict older sister and her husband, Joe, who's the local blacksmith and just a genuinely good-hearted man. Now, Pip has no idea, right? But his entire life is about to get turned completely upside down. It all comes down to 2 totally separate encounters. One is terrifying. The other is, well, intoxicating. And both are going to plant the seeds for everything that comes next. So first, he's in this spooky, lonely graveyard, and he runs into this escaped convict. It's scary, but Pip, out of a mix of pity and fear, helps the guy out. Then, soon after, he gets this bizarre invitation to a place called Satis House. It's this huge, decaying mansion owned by the very rich, very weird Miss Havisham. And this right here is the central conflict that starts pulling Pip in 2 different directions. You've got Joe, who represents pure, unconditional kindness. And then you have Estella, Miss Havisham's adopted daughter. She's beautiful, for sure, but also incredibly cold. And she makes Pip feel just painfully aware of how poor and common he is. And that's it. That's the spark. The way Estella looks down on him, makes fun of his coarse hands, it just lights this fire inside him. All of a sudden, he hates his life. He has one single burning ambition. He's got to become a gentleman, someone she could never, ever look down on again. So Pip's got this, impossible dream. And then, out of nowhere, it looks like it might actually come true. His whole world just flips, practically overnight. Get this, a lawyer from London shows up with just mind-blowing news. Some anonymous benefactor has given Pip a massive fortune. There's only one condition. He has to pack up, move to London immediately, and start his education to become a gentleman. And of course, where does Pip's mind go? Straight to Miss Havisham. It has to be her, right? He's convinced she's the one pulling the strings, getting him ready to be with Estella. His great expectations, they're finally happening. So Pip gets to London and he completely dives in. He learns how to act, how to dress, he spends a ton of money. But there's a dark side to this. The more he gains in status, the more he loses a part of himself. He becomes really ashamed of where he came from, and especially of good, kind Joe. Okay, so Pip's on top of the world. He's living the dream, he thinks he's got it all figured out, and he's this close to getting everything he ever wanted. But what he doesn't know is that his whole new life, it's all built on a lie, and it is about to come crashing down hard. I mean, he is 100% certain. There's no doubt in his mind that Miss Havisham is his fairy godmother, that this is all part of her grand plan to bring him and Estella together. He sees everything through that one single lens. But what if he's wrong? What if that one core belief that's holding his entire world together is completely and totally wrong? And then the truth comes out, and it is a bombshell. The person who made him a gentleman isn't some high society lady. Nope. It's Abel Magwitch, the convict from the graveyard. Turns out, Magwitch made a fortune in Australia, and he spent every penny on Pip, all to repay him for that one small act of kindness from when he was just a boy. You can just imagine, right? This news completely shatters him. His whole dream of this aristocratic destiny, gone. Poof. But here's the thing. This shocking truth, it's also a kind of gift. It forces him to finally look past all the illusions of money and class and figure out what actually matters. And this is where we see Pip really start to grow up. It's a journey, you know? It doesn't happen overnight. He goes from being disgusted by Magwitch to realizing how horribly he treated Joe. He starts to see the deep loyalty in his real benefactor. And he finally learns that real value, it has nothing to do with your bank account and everything to do with your character. So Pip's story isn't just about one guy. Dickens is using him to talk about some really big ideas. He's criticizing the rigid class system of his time, showing us how ambition can blind us, and really digging into the difference between how things seem and how they really are. But most of all, he's showing us that people can change, for the better.
So why are we still talking about this book today? Because the lessons Pip learns are they're universal, aren't they? That having money doesn't make you a good person, that our biggest mistakes can be our best teachers, and that things like kindness and loyalty, they're worth so much more than gold.
And that, right there, is the heart of it all. It's the big lesson of Great Expectations. It's this powerful reminder that real wealth, the kind that actually matters, isn't something you can measure in an account. It's found in who you are, in being grateful, and in having the strength to learn from your screw-ups. That is a lesson that is just as true today as it was when Dickens first wrote it.